it's very interesting because it makes a lot of sense in a lot of ways. The pick and roll that would be lethal between Rudy Gobert and Luka Doncic would be fantastic to watch. More importantly, Rudy Gobert, already a multi-time defensive player of the year. What he adds from a defensive anchor standpoint would be fantastic for this team. But at the same time, he is on a supermax, contract, getting paid, was it 5-year, $205 million deal. And right now, when you look at his contract, he's getting paid $35 million this year. It'll go up to 38 in next year, and 41, 43, and then 46 after that. So you're talking about a guy that's going to be on a max deal. And then if you bring him on, Luka Doncic's rookie max contract kicks in, at the beginning of this upcoming season, this, new season coming up. So you're going to have two guys taking up a significant portion, of your cap. Can you actually get the deal done? You can get the deal done if you want to, because you can start to trade, future first round picks, whether it be 2023, 25, 27, those kinds of things. You can start trading those picks. But yeah, you got to make the salaries work there. But more importantly, how do you feel about him adding to your, your locker room? If you really feel that strongly about the Mavericks locker room and the culture that they're building, they should be able to overcome whatever you feel like is Rudy Gobert, whether it be a malcontent, passive aggressive. We've seen how things are starting to fall apart in Utah. But if you feel like the Mavericks culture is strong enough to be able to handle Rudy Gobert coming into your locker room, that would be a home run to hit if you can get him and acquire him for your team. Mavericks fans have to get over Rudy Gobert because not a lot of them are feeling Gobert these days. But he would be a hell of a player to add to this roster for sure.
325 is alleging that Rudy Gobert looks like an owl.
An owl?
An owl.
Wow.
Like the bird. Even though I don't know if an owl is considered a bird, but it's got to be in the bird family of sorts. Looking at his face here, I want to have an honest assessment. My big takeaway is I get it. I think I see it.
He gives owl features.
There's an owl vibe. The eyes, maybe they might be, they're a little bit big.
Ooh.
Now I do think that it would definitely be an upgrade. The money factor is a huge factor, and
yeah, that's a big deal.
And what I'm willing to give up in terms of my current roster right now, I mean, I'm not trying to give up Jalen Brunson, not really trying to give up Dinwiddie at this point either. But I know that we can fall in love with our own, and I got to check myself on that sometimes. But as much as I just wonder if you can you get a big that does some of the things you want them to do, that doesn't necessarily have to play all the time. It doesn't have to be one of these supermax guys, but they can go give you 20 good minutes a night, and in those certain games, matchups, moments that you need them, boom, they're able to step in, but they're not eating up your cap in a way that is like, wow, that's the second star next to Luka. Who's doing that? What team is finding success saying, hey, we're going to, our number 2 main star on our team, where our money and our assets are being, are going to, and we're doing it to a big man, and we're winning big out of it. I don't know who's doing that right now.
Well, I think they do become real contenders with his defensive abilities. Now, there's questions about whether or not, he can play at certain matches where at times he can be played off the floor by going to certain lineups that would have him be a liability, extending him, further and further out from the paint.
And I just have a general rule. I'm not paying a guy that can be played or stylistically be taken off the court. I'm not paying him over $30 million a year.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm foolish in that, but I'm just if you're getting that much money, there's never a time you're off the floor unless you're just getting your usual breather. There's not a matchup that's going to dictate, I can't play you. There should never be a time where I can't play a $30+ million player.
Yeah, and I could see how you would get there with that, but when you look at everything else that he brings, the offensive side with the pick and roll stuff, he would be devastating as a finisher. Obviously, as a multi-time defensive player of the year, the block shots, the rebounding,
all that would be huge for the Mavs right now,
which they would need. And when you start thinking about, what kind of money that you could, or contracts that you could move, Tim Hardaway Jr., Spencer Dinwiddie, Davis Bertans, Dwight Powell, all of those guys' contracts, multiple, guys that you would put into a deal there could make that money work. The question is, again, a guy who's going to be 30 years old, are you willing to pay and commit that much money to him? But he would be a fantastic player to add. and give you a lot of the things from a defensive standpoint that would help you continue to win big, in the future. But that's a question that, Nico Harrison and that front office is going to have to answer for themselves.
I am sorry, 214. I did for a second doubt whether or not an owl would be considered a bird. I was wrong in that. I just want you to know that from the bottom of my heart, I apologize. I'd like to apologize to my family and my loved ones and my friends as well. That was a huge mistake, 214. And I hope that you can forgive me, because an owl is a bird. Okay, it's from the Strigiformis, which includes over 200 species of mostly solitary and nocturnal birds of prey, typified by an upright stance. Okay, so yes, we know they have binocular vision, broad head, sharp talons, feathers adapted for silent flight. An owl is a bird, and don't ever let someone even question whether or not that's a fact. I'm sorry about that. 214. Okay, I mean, a lot of these people are kind of going, hey, it just feels like you're going backwards in time trying to give max money to a big man these days. And I get that. I mean, that's what I'm kind of fighting right now, but he would be, I mean, the skill set that he has, if you could just place that on the Mavericks right now in this hypothetical fantasy land, the rebounding, the shot blocking, rim protection, the pick and rolls, all that stuff would be extremely valuable to this Mavericks team. But you got to start thinking about cost, who and what you're giving up in order to get this 29-year-old big man at a time where, if you are a great big man in this league, it's because you're stretching the floor. Yeah. Right? Like you're doing, or you're this Jokic who's just like doing seemingly everything, or you're Embiid who's just got an offensive skill set and repertoire that's just insane. So I don't know. I'm still kind of trying to decide in my mind what the right move is here. But it is just cool to know that is something that could happen. This offseason could result in, and hopefully this is just the genesis of really, really good players, even great players, saying that's where I want to go. I want to be a part of that. I want to play for Jason Kidd. I want to play with Luka Doncic. So hopefully that's something we start to see, and the Mavs can be a bit of a free agent factory.
Yeah, that's why it's important for them to win a first-round series to continue to build that momentum going forward. Yeah,
facts, 100%.